everybody. We are on the lanai enjoying an Aperol Spritz, and I don't think I've ever, no, I have shared this recipe for the Aperol Spritz with you, and I'll find that and put it at the end of this video. And we're going to go in just a moment, and I'm going to make a chicken dish that you are absolutely going to fall in love with. It's so delicious and perfect for this time of year. It's spring going into summer, and I hear a plane overhead, so I hope it's not drowning me out. But the breeze is coming up, and it's time for dinner. So let's go inside and cook. I cannot wait for you to try this chicken dish. It is so perfect for this time of year. It has fresh vegetables and pasta. You serve it with a nice glass of wine. Could not be more perfect for a late spring or summer evening. The ingredients you'll need for this recipe are garlic, and I'm going to use garlic paste. You can use whole garlic and just crush the cloves in a garlic press. You will need olive oil. You will need a ½ pound of chicken, and I will use the chicken breast strips. And you don't want to use dark meat for the chicken. You want the white meat because you want that lighter flavor. You can use a whole chicken breast, cut it up yourself, and ultimately you want it in bite-sized pieces anyway. So it doesn't matter if you use a whole chicken breast or chicken strips, but in my case I like to use the chicken strips. You will need broccoli, and I will use this entire head of broccoli because it's going to cook down a bit when you're cooking. You will need sun-dried tomatoes, and I try to buy it in julienne cut strips. But if you cannot find the julienne cut, just get the whole sun-dried tomatoes, and you can cut them yourself if you'd like that. You will need basil, and I'm using dried basil. I have tried fresh basil, didn't have the same flavor as the dried basil. I think this because this can be blended in easier than the fresh basil. You will need salt and pepper. You will need chicken broth, and that chicken broth may be about 3/4 of a cup. I've already measured out 3/4 of a cup, but I'm saying about 3/4 of a cup because sometimes I might add a bit more while I'm cooking. And you'll also need a splash of white wine. And I try not to overpower the taste of the dish with white wine. So most of the time, instead of adding extra white wine, I will add a little more chicken broth. And you will need bow tie pasta. I use bow tie pasta. You can use whatever you would like, but I just love this with this particular dish because you can pick up the pieces of pasta with a bit of tomato and a bit of chicken and have a nice bite. The first thing I will do is cut up the broccoli and move a few things out of our way so you can see what I am doing. So all I'm doing is taking the broccoli and cutting it off the stalk. And you'll notice I'm not keeping the stalk because it gets a little tough to eat, and I just don't want to cook it that long because if you cook the broccoli extremely long period of time to get the stalk cooked, then it turns a bit mushy. So we're going to avoid that and just cut most of these florets off of the stalks. And this large floret I will cut in half as well. As I've told you, I am not chef trained. I am just a person who loves to cook, and my husband loves to eat. So it's a match made in heaven. Let's simmer this broccoli in the skillet that's already on the stove. I'm going to use 2 tablespoons or about 2 tablespoons of olive oil and 3/4 of a cup of chicken broth. While that broccoli is cooking, we're going to clean up the kitchen a bit, and then we'll go to the next step. Now, while the broccoli's been cooking, I have the chicken ready, and I'm going to take that and the sun-dried tomatoes. I'm going to add that to the broccoli. I've also turned up the heat on the water for our pasta. Don't you just love the powerful flavor of sun-dried tomatoes? It really makes a distinct dish. And I've made many chicken dishes for you in the past, and I'll put some of those videos at the end of this one. But I think the first one I want you to try is this sun-dried tomatoes dish, especially this time of year. I am going to add the garlic and the basil. So I added about 2 tablespoons of basil and about 4 cloves of garlic. This is one of those wonderful recipes that you can expand if you have unexpected guests. Just double the recipe. Now let's start our pasta. Let's add a splash of wine and salt and pepper to our chicken and vegetables. Well, it looks like the pasta is ready, so let's strain it. Let's give this a try. A bit of roast pasta, a little or a lot, whichever you prefer. And then our chicken. This smells heavenly. Well, look at this. Absolutely yummy. But if you want to make one step better, add some Parmesan cheese. Oh, look at this. So great. Let's give it a taste. I need a fork. Okay. Trying to get a little of everything on one bite. So good. Please, please try this recipe. You won't be disappointed. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget, you can always follow me on Instagram. Bye.